As we begin to talk this week about the case for mitigation, it's a good time to talk about hazard mitigation tools and techniques. There are 5 broad approaches to mitigation: structurally engineered projects, prevention, property protection, natural resource protection, and public information. For many years in our country, it was assumed that engineering and technology could be used to prevent the forces of nature. This is a flawed assumption. The drawback to many structurally engineered projects is they can actually make future disasters worse by encouraging development in hazard-prone areas, giving residents a for a false sense of security. Some examples of structural engineered projects are dams, levees, flood walls. However, most hurricane-related deaths and property damage are a result of storm surges. Shoreline protection works are designed to combat storm surge and storm-induced waves. Other structurally engineered projects, beaches and dunes. Sand trapping structures are designed to protect and maintain and enhance beach dunes. Dunes are natural, very useful in protecting buildings from damage during storms for long-term erosion. Let's talk a little bit about prevention. Over the long term, the most sustainable approach to minimizing damages and losses from natural hazards is the use of prevention strategies, such as property acquisition and land use planning. Although acquisition is typically one of the most expensive mitigation tactics, in the long run, it's very cost effective. Another effective method of preventing disasters is to write land use plan and comprehensive plans and then pass ordinances to control where and how property can be developed. A major setback with regulations as a prevention strategy is that some communities grant too many variances, which weakens the setbacks. Natural resource protection. Often, the best way to reduce vulnerability in property to hazards is to preserve the healthy, well-functioning ecosystem. Wetlands serve as a natural flood control by storing tremendous amounts of flood water and slowing and reducing downstream flows. Soil conservation and steep slope preservation are protective measures that place restrictions on the grading of hillsides and the development of landslide risk areas. Public information. Often the key to building a resilient community is educating the public about the nature and consequences of the hazards. Some communities choose to relay information about local hazards by publishing hazard maps. If you know where your house is and you know you're in a floodplain, you're more likely to buy things like flood insurance or not buy there in the first place. Funding mitigation efforts is a well-accepted principle in emergency management circles that current dollars invested in mitigation greatly reduces the demand for future dollars. Many federal grant programs require local government to contribute what is known as non-federal match. Target hardening strategies help create and build an environment that is better able to withstand an attack or accident. Not only does local mitigation plan make sense, but it also is required by the law that local governments have an approved mitigation plan in place before they can receive any federal disaster assistance. Summary: there are many tools and techniques that local communities can use to reduce vulnerability to natural and man-made hazards. Funding for mitigation activities can come from a variety of sources, including federal and state governments and local governments, and can also fund mitigation activities using internal revenue sources. No matter what strategies or sources of funds are used, mitigation efforts are most successful when part of a comprehensive mitigation plan.